up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past few days, and to be honest, after yesterday's performance, I really didn't want to make a video, but I simply have to because the amount of news that's come out and the amount of important news that's come out is, too big to ignore in my opinion. So I'm going to go through it as best as I can with a smile on my face, even though I'm feeling like absolute shite. First up, we have some news in regards to the pivot position. Of course, the main targets of Barcelona, according to the media, over the past few months have been Zubimendi, Joshua Kimmich, Guido Rodriguez. Apparently, all three are ruled out now. So we're going to get into that detail now, who Barcelona see as the main option in the pivot. We're also going to discuss Barcelona looking at other midfield areas as well to reinforce. Firstly, being a creative midfielder, where we've been linked with Florian Wirtz, Alex Bani, Giovanni Lo Celso, but also a powerhouse midfielder where Barcelona want to sign a player with the profile of Yaya Toure in the midfield and have a list of 3 candidates in Amadou Onana, Bruno Gumiares, and also Youssef Fofona. But of course, with players coming in, players who have to leave the club as well. We have big updates and huge reports on Bayern Munich's pursuit for Araujo. Apparently, Tuchel and Araujo had a phone call to discuss a possible move and transfer, and now Barcelona are really pushing to renew his deal. Bayern Munich are also interested in signing Clement Lenglet as well. And finally, we do have some big updates in regards to the signings of the permanent transfers of the 2 Joaos, Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix. Laporta has spoken a lot over the past 48 hours, giving praise to the Joaos and saying that Barcelona really want to sign them badly, and Barcelona, alongside mainly Deco, do have a strategy in place to sign both of them this summer on a permanent basis. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number 1 Foot. Number 1 Foot is one of the best replica football jersey websites on the market right now. They have a variety of different items at absolutely fantastic prices. For me here today, I'm going to show you guys the training kit from this season. This is the warm-up kit that the players use when they go out for training every single day, pre-games as well. You have here the Spotify logo. They have the club badge on it with the diamond as well. And I also have here one of the sweaters they have from last season. This was the Catalonia version. It feels like I bought this from the Nike store directly. The quality is absolutely unreal. The printing is fantastic. And of course, mainly the prices are unbeatable. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get an additional 15% off your final order. That is BOY. Use it at checkout. You get 15% off your order, and all orders above $80 as well will guarantee you free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Click the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past few days. And the first position, of course, that we all know, even based on last night's performance, that we desperately need, and I mean on the brink of desperation, is of course to sign a pivot. Now, firstly, Xavi Campos from Raccoon has come out saying that Barcelona's goal for next summer remains the same, to sign either Zubimendi or Joshua Kimmich. The sports administration believes that Kimmich's option is more economically viable than Zubimendi's, and Barcelona believes that it can negotiate a price of less than 60 million euros for Kimmich. Now, what I said in the last video, I know for a fact, and I'm very confident that Bayern Munich will not sell Kimmich for less than 60. So if Zubimendi is the cheaper option and also the better option, it's got to be him. I think the only way Kimmich has a chance of joining Barcelona is if he'll be cheaper than Zubimendi. If Barcelona think that's the case, we'll wait and see, but I'm still very confident that Bayern Munich will not sell him for less than 60 million. But once this came out, we got an entire effing 360 from Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo, completely shooting every single culé right in the mouth. He's come out saying that Guido Rodriguez, Joshua Kimmich, and Martin Zubimendi, 3 players who were on Barcelona's radar for the pivot position, have been ruled out completely due to many circumstances. So he's now saying, Fernando Polo, keep in mind, Fernando Polo, very close to the club. He is saying now Zubimendi, Kimmich, Guido Rodriguez, all options ruled out. Firstly, on Guido Rodriguez, the age is against him, and Deco wants someone younger. Moreover, he has suffered an ankle injury now. He is going to be out, I think, for around 3 months. He's going to be free in the summer. May come up in the future if he comes back from the injury and plays well, but for now, unlikely. On Joshua Kimmich, he is 28 now as well, and although he is considered a very good profile, Barcelona wants someone younger with a hunger to win, and Kimmich is already a Serie A winner. Moreover, he is with a contract until 2025, and he will be expensive. Completely agree with that. You're probably wondering, what is the reason for Martin Zubimendi? Here it is. Barcelona do not want to pay money to clubs who have positioned themselves against Barcelona in the Negreira case. Moreover, Real Sociedad do not want to budge on the €60 million release clause, and also Zubimendi has never shown any kind of desire to join Barcelona despite their interest. So essentially, the main reason why Barcelona don't want to go for Zubimendi is for 2 reasons. One, he hasn't, shown aspirations to join. He's not so much rejected it, but he hasn't shown any interest in, pushing for a move to, of course, let Barcelona get him for less than his release clause. But secondly, Barcelona don't want to give money to big clubs, big money to clubs in La Liga. Now, we knew about this already from, I think, last summer when the Negreira news broke that Barcelona will not do any negotiation with any La Liga club anymore. I think the Koundé signing was probably the last big signing we'll do from a La Liga club, 60 million to Sevilla. Look, if that's the stance the club want to take on, I understand. But bloody hell, who else is there? You've basically ruled out the top 2 options in Kimmich and Zubimendi. I cannot think of anyone else that would come in and have a big impact. Someone who'd come in and the thing is, right, the club wants someone young and someone to come in who's good and then will grow to become someone better. Zubimendi just checks all the boxes, left, right, and center. And even for Xavi as well, there are reports coming in. Fernando Polo has also came out stating that Martin Zubimendi is still Xavi's favorite to reinforce the pivot position in the summer. So we're now just begging on Xavi, begging the club, begging the board to go and sign Zubimendi. I think, again, the club have shown interest, but they haven't shown anything concrete to Zubimendi. They never talked to his agent. They never showed, a bid to Sociedad, whatever the case may be. I feel like if they go and they activate that release clause, he will join 100%. But again, if the club don't want to give the money to Sociedad, I understand that. But again, that leaves us with no options. Who do we have left? There have been reports again on Wilfred Ndidi. Sport came out saying that Barcelona still holds interest in Leicester City's player Wilfred Ndidi, whose contract is set to expire in June and has not yet renewed his deal with Leicester. This could be kind of a Guido Rodriguez level kind of signing. Again, the club wants someone young and hungry and who is at a level to really grow with the youngsters in the squad. Of course, Wilfred Ndidi does not check off any of those boxes whatsoever. But a name that could is Matt Pfeiffer. This is coming in from Ferran Torres. He's come out and said that Deco holds a strong interest in Matt Pfeiffer as one of the summer targets, whether brings youth, experience, physical strength, versatility, and is capable of playing as a pivot or midfielder at a reasonable price. Of course, Pfeiffer, the midfielder for Feyenoord, having a very good season. I believe he scored against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, even though they lost the game. So we could see maybe Matt Pfeiffer's name emerge and take on real promise over the next few months. But again, for me, it's very difficult to see who the club will sign. Again, we desperately need to sign a pivot and spend big money there. Our top priority, the majority of our transfer budget should be going to a pivot. But again, the main targets and who the club really want is still unclear. Now, along with a pivot, the club want to also sign more midfielders. I mean, it baffles. I get it. We're in, coming up to January. You want to get some news out there. Reporters need to do their job. I understand that. But bloody hell, these reports, these next one we're going to talk about, make no sense. I think we can all agree the only midfield position that we need to reinforce in the summer is a pivot. You might want to bring in a creative midfielder, like we are going to talk about right now. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona has shown interest in Florian Wirtz, but Bayern Munich leading the race for his signature, as Garcia's statements might have paved the way for his potential move. So the preferred choice for the midfield reinforcement still remains Alex Banya. We have also had some reports about Lo Celso. Those ones kind of make sense, but now you kind of have Fermin Lopez emerging this season. We'll wait and see how his stance is at the end of the season. So this one kind of makes sense. But all of a sudden, the club want to really shake up this midfield. I think they seem to forget that we have, the likes of Pedri, Gavi, De Jong, Gundogan. So you already have 4 top midfielders there. You need 6 for a squad. So you want to get another pivot. That's 5. 1 more left. That's either Fermin Lopez or maybe someone in the creative side. But apparently Barcelona are going back to the powerhouse midfield. Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Barcelona are looking for a strong defensive midfielder who is very good in defending and can also be effective in the final third, such as Eder Gavez or Yaya Toure or Zubimendi of Real Madrid. A strong midfielder who has lungs is what the club are saying. The players that they are currently monitoring for that role are as follows: Bruno Gumiares of Newcastle United, Amadou Onana of Everton, and Youssef Fofona of Monaco. The club really liked Bruno, but he had a release clause of 117 million euros, making his signing difficult. Onana has a contract with Everton until 2027 and Fofona until 2025 with Monaco. Another midfielder that Barcelona scouts have been good reports on is Erson dos Santos, who plays for Atalanta. We talked about him a few weeks ago. Signing a top defensive midfielder remains a priority for the club, but it is a subject of next summer, of course. Bao Prim or Marc Bernal have high projections, but they can't come to the squad now, and some people at the club want them to sign a veteran pivot, so there's no hungover on the two youngsters, but Deco not wants to sign a veteran and rather players who will have the beginning of their career. So Deco is not really in favor of signing, experienced players. He'd rather sign players who are about to, become on the verge of experience and are, still growing. I would say the sweet spot is probably between the ages of 21, 24, 25, or somewhere around there. Now, we did have a midfielder like this that had lungs that could defend and go in the final third. His name was Franck Kessié, and we sold him last summer. And now all of a sudden we want a Franck Kessié 2.0. That just doesn't make sense. And there even is a further report on Amadou Onana. Fernando Polo continue on Amadou Onana specifically, saying that Barcelona monitor the transfer market minute by minute and signing a defensive midfielder is a priority. In this regard, they have recently had a good report on Amadou Onana of Everton. He's almost 2 meters tall. He covers a lot of ground while defending. He stands out for his ability to intercept passes. His passes is good, and he also has a threat in the opponent's half. His tackling is spectacular and finds it difficult to play against him due to his physical presence. He also wins a lot of aerial duels, both in the midfield and also while defending and attacking set pieces. More of Everton are near the relegation zone in the Premier League due to the reduction of 10 points. If they do get relegated, their best players will be available for a lower price. Now, that is correct, and I will tell you right now for free, Everton will not be getting relegated. Now, back to this point. I don't want to sound controversial, but I'm going to sound controversial. This is a very much... I don't even know if I want to say it. This is very much, for me, a racist report. I've written an article on racism in football. I actually won an award at my school, so I'm not saying I'm knowledgeable on it, but I'm saying I have some sort of an idea. None of these profiles of Amadou Onana, Youssef Fofona, and Bruno Gumiares fit this powerhouse engine midfielder. And again, Barcelona are using Yaya Toure as a standpoint. Yaya Toure played, 3 seasons for Barcelona? They act like he's some sort of icon. Yeah, he had a good season in the Sextuple, playing at center back and pivot. It just doesn't make sense to me. And this is not the first time the club have done this as well. I remember back in the day when when we sold Paulinho, Barcelona won a big powerhouse midfielder and then report us to 3, black players. None of these players fit the profile that Barcelona need in the pivot. The profile that we need is Zubimendi. If there's a black player that plays like Zubimendi, I'll take him as well. But this for me is, I don't want to say lazy journalism, but it's not the best. I see this as a very, very, not a damning report, but a bit disappointing, especially from Fernando Polo, who I think is a reliable source. But maybe it's not Fernando Polo, maybe the club is actually telling Fernando Polo this, maybe they're just trying to say this just to buy time, what the case may be, but I don't want Bruno Gumiares, Amadou Onana, or Youssef Fofona. They are not the profiles that we need for the pivot, to start, of course. They want to have them off the bench, like a Franck Kessié last season, fine, go spend 117 million on Bruno to be on the bench. Yeah, great marketing there. It just doesn't make sense to me whatsoever, but we'll wait and see. I could be wrong. I've seen, I talked about this with some people on Twitter. They kind of seem to agree with me, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think this is a weird report? What are your thoughts on this? Do you think we need a Yaya Toure profile midfielder? I kind of think Ilkay Gundogan fits this mindset. He can defend, he can attack. Maybe Gundogan's a bit older, yeah, but I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I think the club should just focus on a natural pivot that fits the system and style of Barcelona, and then they can go and get a new winger, and then maybe can come back to the pivot into the midfield if needs be. But we'll wait and see what happens. But again, Barcelona being linked with numerous amount of midfielders in numerous different profiles and numerous different positions, and we'll have to wait and see what becomes concrete coming to the summer transfer window. Now, along with the pivot, another priority for the club this summer will be the future and the permanent signing of the two Joaos, Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix. I think alongside a pivot is definitely one of the top priorities for Barcelona, and we do have updates on their potential permanent moves. Firstly, on Joao Felix, I think we can all pretty much agree that Cancelo will be bought in some shape or form, in some sort of capacity, but Felix is where the question and the debate and the speculation comes in. Ferran Torres of Mundo Deportivo is reporting that Barcelona will negotiate with Atletico Madrid for Joao Felix with the same tactic which Atletico used for Barcelona to get Antoine Griezmann. This is what I want to see. Barcelona will not offer a very high transfer fee. It can be maybe around 30 to 40 million euros, and if Atletico don't agree, then Barcelona could negotiate a loan for another year while paying a loan fee and a salary and a buy option that could also be added in 2025. Felix only wants to play for Barcelona, which is very important, and is what Antoine Griezmann did, and in the end Barcelona had to sell him for around 20 million euros. Both Felix and agent Jorge Mendes will go until the end to make the move possible. In fact, movements have already started through the agent's side. We just talked about something that I didn't agree with the club about this midfield profile, and now all of a sudden I'm loving the club again. 100% fully agree, and I've been saying this for the past few months as well. This is absolutely spot on for Barcelona. For me, Felix would not spend a penny over 40 million euros. Whether he gets 10 goals and 10 assists or not, I don't think he's that type of player. And I think Barcelona had to remain firm. We gave them Antoine Griezmann, who we paid 120 million for. I think with a loan fee, we gave them back Griezmann for 30 million euros. We should be doing the exact same thing. I am so happy and satisfied with this report. Could not agree with the club anymore. Now, continuing on, Javi Miguel also confirmed it, saying that Deco is working on Cancelo deal, with Barca considering a proposal of around 20 million euros for the player that City does not want. The challenge of securing Joao Felix involves Atletico Madrid wanting around 80 million euros, but Barcelona might negotiate up to 20 to 25 million euros. Again, for me, for Felix, I said that before, 40 with variables, all in, all that stuff is the absolute max I would pay. For me, I'd probably offer, my best offer to Atletico would probably be 25 million fixed, 10 million euros in add-ons. Cancelo for 20 million from City, even 25 or 30, it's a steal. The goal essentially is to get Felix and Cancelo for a combined 50 to 60 million euros at the absolute most. I would not go over a penny, 60 million euros for both these two players, and I think the club are on the right track to do so. And these two players, I must say this, the Joaos are making moves to stay at Barcelona. Not only they're putting passion, desire, and the love for the club on the pitch, they're performing. They're one of our most integral players this season. When they score goals, they celebrate, they kiss the badge. These are players on loan, keep in mind. When they tackle, when they do a good action, they stand there and celebrate. And another thing, they're doing a lot of movement outside the pitch. They're going to Barca futsal games, Barcelona roller hockey games, basketball games. They're really involved. I think they're both really trying to push and to show the club that they want to be here for the time being. Of course, even Felix came out doing interviews after the Atletico Madrid game, saying that I really wanted to stay, just not done the Barcelona negotiation. I hope Barcelona do end up signing me permanently and all this stuff. Now, we do have some quotes from Joan Laporta. He has been speaking quite a bit in the media over the past 72 hours or so. Speaking on the Joaos, he came out saying that Cancelo and Felix have been playing at a high level since they joined. The club will be able to keep them for the coming seasons. We plan to start negotiations for them shortly, and as we have a good relationship with both Atletico Madrid and Manchester City. We are happy with them, and Deco's already had the strategy in mind. In time, we will talk to City and Atletico so they can stay with us. They have been having a great season, and I'm sure they will shine more and more. So again, I think the club have a strategy in place to secure both these signings. Again, I cannot stress enough, for the pair of them, we should not be going over 60 million euros. I think the sweet spot, honestly, is 50, 55-ish, all in, variables, fixed, whatever the case may be. I think the club have that right mindset. It's just now down to the execution. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past few days. Now, first I want to discuss the January transfer window exits. Has been confirmed. Very unlikely. It's probably at a 0 to 1% chance that no one will leave in the January transfer window. Fran Martinez Mundo Deportivo came out saying that no exits are expected in January. Both Deco and Xavi have closed the door as they consider the squad too short, with 19 first-team players and Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez included. Only possible outrageous offers from maybe the Saudi Arabia or the MLS would be studied. Correct decision in my opinion, although I would consider offers for this man, Marcus Alonso, who is apparently set to leave Barcelona once his contract expires. Gabriel Sanz, Mundo Deportivo, has come out saying that Marcos Alonso has already decided to leave Barcelona next summer. His intention is to end the season at Barcelona, but it leaves the door open to an unforeseen event in January, especially with Saudi Arabia clubs being interested in his contract. There is a clause which would extend his contract for another year if he plays half of the matches this season, but it's very unlikely as he has barely played so far in the first half of the season. So hopefully Alonso doesn't get those minutes up to automatically renew his deal. Again, he wants to leave now Barcelona. He's very unlikely to renew his deal. Again, I'm really hoping for a Saudi Arabia club to come in and bless us in January. 1 million, I'd accept it. I swear to God, I would accept it. 2 million, 3 million. If the club are really smart, they'll really negotiate Alonso's transfer. Look, we don't need him. We have players in the Barcelona B that can come in and replace him in the squad. He's not really that integral. I mean, bloody Xavi played Balde left center back, so I mean, I don't think it's really a necessity to have Alonso as part of the team. So wait and see on a possible January exit. I think he's probably the only player that could leave in January. I don't think anyone else stands a chance. But for the summer, it's pretty much confirmed. Now, the biggest rumor around Barcelona over the past few days has been about the potential exit of the third captain of the club and the captain on the pitch for the past 2 games, or 3 games, should I say, sorry, at Barcelona, is Ronald Araujo. Now, the news has broken in from Pletty from Sky Germany, who is, I would say, top 3 source in Germany. He's also very close to Bayern Munich. He's come out saying this: Ronald Araujo is an absolutely desired priority transfer target for Bayern Munich in the winter, January transfer window, and even the summer. There was a phone call between Thomas Tuchel, Freud, who I believe is the sporting director of Bayern Munich, and Araujo on Friday, and Tuchel made it clear to him that he wants him urgently, no matter what the cost is. Bayern are prepared to have a massive transfer fee ready for the defender. It's now up to the player to decide if he wants to leave or not. I will say this, it's up to Barcelona as well. He does have a valid contract until 2026, €1 billion release clause. Again, the club do have to negotiate to renew his deal. Now, when this first came out, I'm thinking, my first instinct isn't that, oh, Bayern Munich want Araujo, oh, Bayern Munich could make a big money offer to Araujo. No, that's not what I was thinking. The first thing I was thinking was, why is Araujo picking up the phone to Tuchel and Bayern Munich? I mean, you're out here as a captain saying that you love the club. Keep in mind, the rumors first started a week ago. A few days later, he was doing some marketing campaign for Barcelona as representing the first team as the captain in the press conference, saying that, oh, I love Barcelona. This is the club of my life. I'm not leaving. He's kissing the badge left, right, and center. But he's talking on the phone with Bayern Munich. Then after all these rumors, he performs like shite yesterday against Girona. I don't know, but everyone else apart from Germany are shutting down these reports. We have Ben Aid saying that Araujo is completely focused on Barcelona. The player is committed to the club and is happy at Barcelona. Gerardo Mero said that Araujo's entourage had denied the news of him speaking with Bayern Munich's coach Thomas Tuchel. Mateo Marito saying Araujo is only thinking about Barcelona, nothing more. Tony Juan Martins come out saying that Araujo's entourage denies any contact with Thomas Tuchel or Bayern Munich. He's only focused on Barcelona and the commitment is total. Fabrizio Romano's even came out saying that Araujo's position has not changed. He's only focused on Barcelona and the club will offer him a new deal very soon. It is one of the priorities. Now, we do have reports coming in for Ferran Martinez, who I think has kind of shone a light on the situation and also has brought in a bit of realism as well. He's come out saying this: Araujo has closed the door to Bayern Munich in January, but things may change in the summer. So again, 100% in January, he won't leave. I think even Bayern Munich offer 300 million. Let me rephrase that. If Bayern Munich offer 150 million in January, I don't think the club would accept it. But Ferran Martinez says this: Bayern Munich have decided to go all out for Araujo. Next summer, there could be a case for Araujo. Their sporting proposal is tempting. The economic proposal is very powerful, and Bayern Munich are very insistent. I will say this. Now, before I say what I want to say, I will say the Fabrizio Romano report. Some talks have already taken place, and more talks are expected between Barcelona and Araujo's side in the next weeks and months to renew his contract beyond 2026. He's one of the club's priorities, and he's really happy at Barcelona. Again, remember, don't forget Deco's plan. Deco wants to renew Pedri, Gavi, Araujo, Ansu, Fermin, all the players that contract end in 2020, Frankie de Jong, all the players contracts that end in 2026, 2027. He wants to renew from January until the summer, which is going to be a big task. I will say this though: if Araujo does not sign a new deal at Barcelona before June, I think he's gone. For me, loving a club is finding a player that loves your club is so rare nowadays. Like Tuchel even came out in a press conference after Bayern Munich getting clapped 5-1 by Frankfurt. He said that, oh, I'm not gonna speak on phone calls. You don't ask me when I call my mom and stuff like that. But he didn't deny the phone conversation with Araujo. I genuinely think that phone conversation took place. Whether Araujo is committed to Barcelona or not, I personally believe that phone call has taken place. And for me, the fact that Araujo picked up that phone call is enough for me to tell me that there's a chance that he could leave. Now again, keep in mind, the club, if they want to sell him in 2024, is the best time to sell him. They'll get the best price, whether we ask for 150, 200. Not only does Araujo have to get the green light, but Barcelona has to get a transfer fee that they do like as well. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I do think there's a chance. I'd probably put it right now at about, right at this moment in December, 15%. Because him picking up the phone is probably 14.5% on its own. And then 0.5 because Bayern Munich, a lot of money, decent team. Him pick up the phone just gives me a big red flag. But we'll wait and see with Araujo. I'm not saying he's leaving tomorrow, but I definitely think if he does not renew his deal by June, definitely. If he does not renew his deal by June, I'd put it at like 45, 50%. Genuinely would. But keep in mind, Araujo is not the only center back that Bayern Munich want from Barcelona. They also want Clement Lenglet. Sport came out saying that Bayern Munich is in search for a center back in January, with Lenglet being an option. The plan involves recalling Lenglet from Aston Villa and then selling him for a fee of around 10 million euros. German sources indicate that Harry Kane, who of course played with Clement Lenglet last season at Spurs, is the prominent advocate for the signing. So Kane is telling Bayern Munich, you should go for Lenglet, great professional, blah 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 blah. I'll tell Bayern Munich this: you could have Lenglet for 5 million euros. We'll give you a half off. Just don't talk to Araujo. That's it. Very, very simple. Look, I don't think this is going to happen. I would love it for it to happen. I would pay Aston Villa 3 million euros to call back Lenglet, and I would sell Lenglet to Bayern Munich for 5 million. Make a little 2 million profit there in that transaction to get rid of a player that we desperately need to get rid of. It's a win-win, but again, the sources on this story aren't really too strong. But on Araujo, we'll wait and see. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think he picked up that phone from Bayern Munich? Do you think there's a chance that he leaves? Again, I still think that he did talk to Tuchel on his chance of leaving. I'd put it at, a decent amount, but not, 100% expectation. Now, a player that definitely has a better chance than Araujo, now a player who has a very significantly higher chance of leaving the club this summer over Araujo is Ferran Torres. There have been reports coming out from Madrid from AS saying that Ferran Torres will leave Barcelona in the summer, and he may even leave in January. If a good offer comes in, he's very unhappy with his minutes, and with Victor Roque coming in, he's very, very worried he's not going to play any minutes whatsoever. Now, following that report, Fran Martinez Montebo came out saying that Ferran Torres spoke with Xavi to maintain his commitment and has insisted that he does not want to leave until at least the end of the season. He is comfortable with the team and the club. The rumors reached him, and he wanted to close the issue very, very quickly with Xavi. Love the professionalism here from Ferran Torres, making it clear to Xavi and the board that, look, I don't want to leave whatsoever. In the summer, you never know. We'll wait and see. But until the end of the season, I'm 100% committed to the club. Ferran Corazon Sport also confirms as well, saying that Ferran Torres has decided to stay put. He has a conversation with Xavi, confirming that he won't depart in January. Xavi, in turn, has faith in the player and has reluctant to lose him, aimed at squad vulnerability and reoccurring injuries. I really think that Barcelona are going to have a big shakeup this summer, in the sense they're going to sell players that haven't been working out and then just bring in new fresh blood. I would put a good bet on both Ferran Torres and maybe even Rafinha leaving as well, if good money comes in for both the players. It's a very, very weird situation for me, for Ferran Torres. I think he's had a better season than I expected so far. He's had a better season than last season, of course, but he still hasn't been the 50 million euro player that we bought from Manchester City to, revolutionize our front line. So it's been a bit of a letdown, but we'll wait and see on the offers, and we'll wait and see what happens in the summer. But for now, he will not leave in January. But there's definitely a very, very good chance, high chance, that Ferran Torres leaves Barcelona in the summer. Now, a player who, if he continues his current form, hopefully will get shipped off in the summer, is of course Robert Lewandowski. There are reports coming in saying that the PIF officials have made approaches to the entourage of Robert Lewandowski about a move to Saudi Arabia Pro League in the upcoming summer transfer window. Please, I would sell Lewandowski for 20 million euros. We're at a point now where we have to cash in. Lewandowski's come out in the media saying that, I see myself playing 2 or 3 more years left at the top level. Barcelona, I love the city, I love the team, blah, 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 blah. We gotta create more chances, blah, 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 after you shouldered the header in the last second last night. Anyways, with Lewandowski, I think he's washed. I think we can get by with him this season, especially with Victor Roque coming in January to maybe wake him up to see, look, we have someone on the bench, you better perform or else, you get your Polish bench. Polish are sat on the bench, but we gotta catch on him. This is the perfect moment. He has 1 year left on his deal. Keep in mind as well, his salary does increase next season. He's currently earning 240,000 a week. It will increase next season to 300,000 euros a week. He cannot be making that money. So I'd definitely ship him off, but wait and see how things progress during the season. But for now, I would say there's a good chance that Lewandowski does leave Barcelona this summer to the Saudi League or maybe the MLS. But of course, a good offer has to be made to Barcelona and to Lewandowski himself. Let's now discuss some of the players whose futures right now at the club are very much unclear. Firstly is Oriol Romeu. Now, Sport have come out saying that Oriol Romeu possesses remarkable mental strength, remaining impervious to criticism and refraining from making excuses. At Southampton, he proactively sought out opportunity to play with the youth ranks when he wasn't selected in the first team. This is contrary now to the reports that the media pressure is affecting him. Even more reports saying that Oriol Romeu works to return to a high peak of confidence that allows him to be useful to Barcelona. Again, still no minutes for Romeu last night against Girona, and I think his situation is very delicate. I think there's definitely a very, very good chance that he does leave the club in the upcoming summer. But with Eric Garcia, there is a different opinion. There are reports coming out saying that Girona is pleased with Eric Garcia, recognizing he's a top tier player with exceptional ball distribution skills. Qualities are high valued by the coach Michel. He's progressing in the right direction to become a key figure at Barcelona as well. Now, if we sell Araujo, we're going to need another center back, so Eric Garcia might come back in. But I think there is a good opportunity for Barcelona to play around with Eric Garcia. So I think he'll end the season off well with Girona. Potentially make a push for the league or the top 4. And again, depends on what happens in our center back department. I think we're pretty well covered. Again, you have Koundé, you have Christensen, Mikael Fey, Kubarsi, you have Eric Garcia as well. There are many, many options for Barcelona to play around with. So I think Eric Garcia's future is very much in doubt whether he gets sold, maybe he gets used in a Girona deal against Savio or Alex Garcia or whatever the case may be, or maybe a Blaugrana next season. So we'll wait and see on these two players. I think, of course, both of them link with Barcelona and Girona as well, but their futures still remain heavily in doubt. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. Currently a player out on loan, Ansu Fati, who is reportedly going to be out for around 3 months, will probably come back around February and March time. De Zerbi was asked on his injuries, and the news about Ansu Fati is that we think that he needs around 3 months from the day of the injury to recover. It's bad news for us because he was playing better and he understood the idea better. I'm sorry for him, and I'm sorry for the team. So 3 months out for Ansu Fati, and hopefully when he comes back, he can have some sort of form and play well. So we can either maybe keep him at Barcelona or at least get some market value to end up shipping him. Next injury update is on Marc-Andre ter Stegen. The club have confirmed that his surgery in France was successful on his lower back, and he'll be out, of course, for around 2 months. Of course, Xavi's in the press conference leading up to Girona that the club expect him to be back in under 2 months. So hopefully he can be back around beginning to middle of February. That would be a good return for him. And again, that means that Barcelona don't have to go into the market and get a goalkeeper. If he's out for the rest of the season, that would make sense. But when he's out for just a month and a half, 2 months, no need. And finally, is an injury update on Marcos Alonso. Again, he was injured for about a week, but the club officially announced it yesterday, saying that Marcos Alonso is suffering from lower back problems. He's out, and his recovery will determine his availability. So not only is ter Stegen having back problems, but also Marcos Alonso. No time frame, no media reports on Alonso's injury whatsoever, so we'll just have to wait and see when he comes back. Let's now discuss some of the transfer news. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past few days. I first want to discuss the Atletic, Barca B team's center back situation, the pecking order in regards to who gets into the first team and who doesn't get into the first team. When Kubarsi was called up, a lot of people were commenting on my videos and on Twitter as well, saying that why is Mikael Fey not being picked ahead of him? Again, the racism was brought up as well. Apparently, Xavi only picks Spanish and white players, but there is some sort of a logic behind it. Fran Martinez from Deportivo came out saying that Mikael Fey is one of Barcelona's bets for the future, but they see him as a bit immature now to be in the first team. He's still adapting as it is to the first season at Barcelona and needs to develop a certain aspect. So the club think that he's not quite ready for the first team yet, but see a big future in him. And it's just not into him, it's pretty much into all the Barca Athletic center backs as well. Sport have come out saying that one of the reasons why Xavi has opted for Pau Kubarsi instead of Mikael Fey and McBecky is because he does not want to hamper Barca Athletic's dynamics. We'll come back to that. Fine, McBecky had been started for Barca Athletic recently, and calling up Kubarsi to the first team affects them the least. The priority is and always will be the first team, but they don't want to hamper Barca Athletic's promotion aspirations as well. Another thing is that both Fey and McBecky offer a different profile to Kubarsi. Now, I will say this, Xavi has never cared about Barca Athletic, in the sense of how they their objectives for the season. He does not care. If he needs to play from them, he will take them, no problem. Again, the first team is always a priority Barca Athletic promotion does not really affect us, the players, whatever the case may be. Of course, the players will like it. They'll want to play at a bit of a higher level, but it won't affect us whatsoever. To be honest, I will say this. I think the level of Kobrasi and McAlfay is very, very high. I would say they're on the very much the same level. But I still think that Kobrasi is a bit better than him. I've seen Kobrasi play a lot for the Spain under 17, I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, I see McAlfay highlights. I see him play for Barca Atletic. I see he's been playing fantastically well, McAlfay, this season. But Kobrasi, I think, is just on another, not another level, like, you know, galaxy level. I just think he's a step above McAlfay at the moment. Of course, Kobrasi is, you know, promoted through the youth. McAlfay is just signed for Barca Athletic. He's still, you know, adapting to the culture, the style, the system, and everything like that. So it makes sense. But I think McAlfay will definitely get a run out for sure in some point, hopefully during the season. If not, preseason 2024, he'll probably be on that list. He'll travel with Barcelona, probably to America again, and that will be his time to impress. So I don't have no real complaints in regards to the Barcelona Athletic center backs. But again, Barcelona center back position very well covered. Talked about Araujo leaving, Eric Garcia's future. You have Koundé, you have Christensen, Kobrasi, McAlfay. Very, very well covered by Barcelona in the center back department, and it's only hopefully on the rise from this moment. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys an update on the Copa del Rey draw. Of course, Barcelona love the Copa del Rey. We have won it the most times in the history of its existence, and the Copa del Rey round of 16 draw will be taking place tomorrow. I will be doing a live stream for that, so make sure you tune in and set the reminder for the live stream as well. But the opponents that we could possibly draw are on the screen right now. We could be getting Malaga, which would be a very interesting draw. Of course, we had a lot of bad times with them in recent years in the league, but now they've gotten demoted so many times, and you absolutely love to see it. Again, Barcelona will be playing away in the round 16. We'll be getting drawn away to one of these 6 teams, and we'll wait and see who our opponents will be tomorrow. But I also want to discuss on the goalkeeping situation for the Copa del Rey. Javi Miguel from AES is reporting that Xavi has made the decision before Ter Stegen's injury to grant Iñaki Peña the opportunity to play all the Copa del Rey matches as a recognition of his exceptionary contributions during training. So before Ter Stegen got injured, Xavi decided to play Iñaki Peña throughout the entirety of the Copa del Rey. So that's round 16, quarterfinal, both legs in the semifinal, and of course the finals. The Super Cup probably would have been a bit in doubt, but now Iñaki Peña is going to play the Super Cup because they're saying it is injured. So Iñaki Peña will be getting a lot of minutes this season. He's obviously going to play from now until February, all the games no matter what, and he will also secure all the Copa del Rey games as well. So keep that in mind when Ter Stegen comes back in around February time. I think by then we'll probably be in the quarterfinal, semifinal phases of the Copa del Rey, and it will be Iñaki Peña being selected if, of course, Xavi keeps his promise and his decision that he made before Ter Stegen gets injured. So keep that in mind as well. But again, Copa del Rey is back, and the draw will be taking place tomorrow. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few days. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to see, of course, is your thoughts on the whole entire midfield dilemma. Would you go and sign 3 new midfielders, a creative, a powerhouse, a pivot? Would you go for a powerhouse? Would you go for a pivot? Would you go for a creative one? Who would you sign the pivot now that Zubimendi and Kimmich and Guido Rodriguez are a bit in doubt? Second, your thoughts on Araujo to Bayern Munich. There's a chance, there's a possibility. Do you believe that Araujo had that phone call with Thomas Tuchel? And finally, your thoughts on the Joao signing on a permanent transfer. Do you think they will or not? Do you think that Felix will maybe come back on loan next summer? And how much do you think Barcelona will spend on the combined for the Joaos? And how much would you spend? What do you think is the best, margin price for the 2 Joaos together? And of course, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.